127,271 bitcoins, $15 billion. The largest asset seizure in American judicial history. And according to Beijing, every single coin was already stolen by the United States government 4 years ago. Chen Zhi landed in China on January 7, 2026, hooded and handcuffed. Cameras captured police escorting him across the tarmac. 38 years old. Former lord. Former advisor to 2 prime ministers. Former billionaire. The man who allegedly ran Asia's largest criminal syndicate now belongs to a country he left behind a decade ago, while his fortune sits frozen in a cold wallet controlled by Washington.
The Bitcoin will not follow him home.
In 2011, Chen Zhi arrived in Cambodia with money from a gaming business in Fujian province. By 2014, he had purchased citizenship. By 2015, he founded Prince Group. By 2018, according to one of his own associates, the operation was generating $30 million a day.
The math doesn't work for real estate.
Prince Group's website still describes Chen as a respected entrepreneur and philanthropist. The photos show ribbon cuttings, charity galas, handshakes with diplomats. He donated generously. He advised Cambodia's prime minister, then advised the prime minister's son when power transferred. The government awarded him the title of Okhanha, Lord.
The compounds told a different story.
At least 10 facilities across Cambodia, high walls, barbed wire. Workers who arrived believing job advertisements, then discovered the doors locked behind them. United Nations investigators estimate 100,000 people are forcibly involved in online scams in Cambodia alone. Prince Group allegedly operated the infrastructure for a significant portion of that labor.
The scheme was called pig butchering. Fatten the target with affection, then slaughter them financially.
Inside the compounds, workers followed scripts. They created fake identities across social media platforms. 76,000 accounts operated from just 2 locations, run through 1,250 phones. An internal training document recovered by investigators offered a specific instruction. Do not use photographs of women who are too beautiful. The illusion required plausibility. Workers initiated contact through dating apps and messaging platforms. Wrong number texts, friendly strangers. Over weeks, sometimes months, they built relationships with targets in Brooklyn, in London, in cities across 30 countries. They listened. They remembered birthdays. They manufactured intimacy with strangers they would never meet.
Then came the investment opportunity.
Targets were introduced to account managers who guided them toward cryptocurrency platforms that displayed fabricated gains, green arrows pointing upward, portfolios doubling on screens. Small withdrawals were permitted early. Proof the system worked. When victims attempted to withdraw larger sums, they encountered fees, taxes, legal costs. The account manager apologized. The platform vanished. The money was already gone. 250 victims in the United States alone lost $18 million through what prosecutors call the Brooklyn Network. Globally, Southeast Asian scam operations extracted $10 billion from American victims in a single year. The workers who executed these schemes faced violence for underperformance, beatings, electric shocks. Survivors described conditions indistinguishable from imprisonment. One payroll ledger recovered by investigators contained a handwritten note from management. Employee salaries. Please pay with clean money.
Even the wages were laundered.
Chen Zhi allegedly supervised the financial architecture personally. Proceeds flowed through shell companies, cryptocurrency mining operations, online gambling platforms. A subsidiary called Lubian ran mining pools that generated fresh Bitcoin, untraceable to the original theft. The new coins mixed with the stolen funds, origins dissolved. By 2020, Chen controlled approximately 127,000 bitcoins stored in non-custodial wallets, cold storage, theoretically untouchable by any government.
Then the wallets emptied.
December 29, 2020. In under 2 hours, automated scripts drained over 5,000 wallet addresses. The bitcoins moved to new locations and went dormant. Chen's organization posted over 1,500 messages on the blockchain, pleading with the attackers, offering ransom. No response came.
The coins sat motionless for nearly 4 years.
In June 2024, they moved again, this time to addresses that blockchain analysts would eventually flag as controlled by the United States government. 4 months later, the Department of Justice announced the seizure as proceeds of Chen Zhi's criminal enterprise. Beijing offered a different interpretation. A November 2025 report from China's National Computer Virus Emergency Response Center alleged the 2020 theft was a state-sponsored cyber attack. American hackers, the report claimed, exploited a vulnerability in the private key generation algorithm, a flaw that reduced the theoretical impossibility of cracking 256-bit encryption to a brute force exercise requiring only 42 billion attempts.
The accusation transforms the narrative. What Washington calls justice, Beijing calls theft. The same Bitcoin, the same wallets. Two governments claiming ownership through two incompatible stories.
Chen Zhi now sits in Chinese custody, facing charges of operating illegal gambling operations, fraud, money laundering, and concealing criminal proceeds. Cambodia revoked his citizenship by royal decree in December. His bank, 36 branches across the country, entered liquidation the day after his arrest. Singapore froze $150 million in assets. Hong Kong seized $2.7 billion in holdings. London locked down properties worth over £100 million.
The prince's empire is being partitioned.
But the industry he allegedly industrialized continues. Researchers who study transnational crime note that scam compounds operate like distributed networks. Remove one node, others expand. The profits remain extraordinary. The victims remain global. The workers remain trapped. Thailand bombed Cambodian scam facilities in December. South Korea launched operations to recover trafficked citizens. The pressure builds from every direction, except from within. Cambodia's scam economy has become structural. The question experts ask is not whether it will end, but whether it will simply migrate to Myanmar, to Laos, to wherever governments prove sufficiently corruptible or weak. The person who sat in that Chinese airplane, hood over his face, built something larger than himself. He built a template. He proved that human trafficking, psychological manipulation, and cryptocurrency could combine into an industry generating billions annually, operating across borders, surviving the fall of any single architect.
Chen Zhi will face trial. Sentences for comparable crimes in China have reached life imprisonment. His lawyers in the United States have already filed motions calling the Department of Justice's case fundamentally flawed, demanding evidence that the seized Bitcoin connects directly to fraud.
The Bitcoin remains frozen. $15 billion in digital currency, claimed by two superpowers, generated by enslaved workers, stolen from victims who trusted strangers on their phones. Somewhere in a compound with barbed wire walls, someone is still typing. The script says, "Don't use a photo that's too beautiful."